Starting in the daily dashboard, top left-hand side of the screen, we've got the Sunrise Restaurant Group. Now you'll have access to unlimited number of locations, departments, and employees. And all of these locations and departments, they communicate with each other in real time, so you can now start to cross-utilize your staff across the different areas of your business. To the left-hand side, I've got my list of employees, and we will import these employees into OpenSimSim directly from the POS. Editing one of the employees, we can see the information that we capture. We then start to assign the different positions the employee can work. We have all the generic restaurant, retail, hospitality type positions in the database. If there's something unique to your brand that you would like to include, you can create those custom positions. We also have a different pay rate for each position to ensure an accurate cost to your forecasted schedule. So now managers can be very proactive about creating a schedule, understanding the cost, and then publishing that out to the employees. Going back to the daily dashboard, I've got my schedules color-coded by position so I can easily see the coverage throughout the day. To the left-hand side, we have some gray shading. And if I highlight that, it's showing me the availability for the employee. So my employees can keep me updated in real time with their availability. Now, when it comes to creating a schedule or editing a schedule, it's as easy as drag and drop, just moving my mouse around. When I release the shift, here are the shift details that we publish to the employee. Start and end time of the shift, the position the employee is working, a unique feature called offsite address. So if you're ever doing any catering or special events offsite, you can include the address in the shift details and we will publish that to the employee. You can divide your restaurant up into sections. So I created a bar section, a lounge section, a patio section, section 1, which is tables 1 through 10. So this is custom to you. And then any notes that you want to communicate to the employee, you can type those in here in the notes section. Exiting out of the shift details, to the right-hand side, we also include the total paid hours for the day and for the week. So going into the weekly dashboard, I've got my schedule menu here to the left-hand side. I can also filter my schedule by a position and by a section, and that customizes the view that I see in this weekly dashboard. Exiting out of that filter, across the top, I've got my start day of week set to a Monday, but for reporting purposes, if your start day of week is something different, you can certainly set that up. We can type in notes that are very specific for a day and include these notes on the printed schedule. To the right, we have our total paid hours for the week. And then down at the very bottom, there's a section called Shift Opportunities. This is where we can create open opportunities and publish these opportunities out to our employees. So in this example, I said I do have a special event coming up on Saturday. I need 3 extra bartenders between 11:30 and 3 p.m. I can send this out to my entire network, and all of those employees that have the bartender skill, they're available between 11:30 and 3 p.m. will get a push notification about this open opportunity, and they can apply directly to the manager. I could also say, instead of sending it out to everyone, maybe it's a VIP event, I just want to invite specific employees, I can certainly do that as well. Now, as mentioned before, integration to POS is included. We will capture all of the sales data every 15-minute increment and bring that into OpenSimSim. So take your eyes to the top right-hand side of the screen. There's a $sign. I'm going to press this button, and all of a sudden at the bottom, I can start to see my projected sales. You have to do nothing here. I can understand the cost of my schedule, what my labor percentage is. So before sending that schedule out to my employees, managers can now be very proactive to understand the cost compared to sales before they send it out to the employees. Lastly, in this weekly dashboard, take a look at Danny Gray, the very first employee in my list. Top right-hand side of each of her shifts, there's a little checkbox, and that's telling us as the management team that Danny has actually read the schedule. So when you publish your schedules out to the employees, they can have an iPhone app, they can have an Android app, or they can access it via any web browser. Once they read the schedule, we get an acknowledgement that they've seen that schedule. So it eliminates the excuse of, I didn't know I had to work, I didn't know you made an edit to my schedule. Well, you do know because I can see that you've read it. Now, when it comes to actually creating a schedule, we work off a concept called templating. To the left-hand side of the schedule menu, there's an item called My Schedules, and this is where all my templates live. So you could simply say, just grab last week's schedule or 2 weeks ago and bring that into the system, or you could create unlimited types of templates. I'm going to select the spring schedule. I'm going to import that into my environment, and in a matter of seconds, I've got my draft schedule. So I can start to move things around. I can start to add notes to the schedule if I want to. All of this is done in the draft mode before you publish the schedule out to the employees. And I can even press that $ again to understand the cost of the schedule compared to the projected sales. We also include a team communication and collaboration module. Top right-hand side of the screen, I'm going to hit what we call messages, and here's where we can start to send out messages to a group of employees or a single employee. So here's an example where I had a new feature menued item. I sent that out to the server group. I included a picture of that item. So if I click on that, I can expand that picture out. My employees can ask questions. I can include documents, pictures, hyperlinks, and this can be a one-to-one conversation or a one-to-many conversation. Part of that team communication and collaboration is what we call the manager logbook. This is where managers at the end of every shift can put a logbook entry into the manager's logbook. All other managers get a notification about the entry. They can reply to it, and just like we did in the team messaging, we can include pictures, hyperlinks, documents, anything that you want to include in these entries, you can do that in the manager logbook. Once we publish the schedule out to the employees, all of the employees will get that push notification. They can access their schedules from an iPhone, Android app, as mentioned before. If I don't have access to a smartphone, I can view all of my information via the responsive desktop. As you can see here, I can see all the details associated with my schedule. I can tap on tomorrow. I can see I'm a server from 3:15 to 11 p.m. Everything I need associated with that schedule is available to me on the app. Top right-hand side of the screen, if my manager gives me permission, I can also drop and swap shifts with my colleagues. So if I say drop the shift, it will only present other employees that have the exact same skill set. They're available to pick it up, and they will not break any business rules. And when they apply to that swap, it actually goes through to my manager to approve. Now, I can also see who else I'm working with. So I may just want to see who else I'm working with on Friday. There's a list of employees. And if I go back to my weekly dashboard on my phone and I rotate it to landscape, I can actually see the entire weekly schedule just as though you posted it on the wall somewhere. I rotate my phone back, I'm back to my personal weekly schedule. Now take your eyes to the bottom of the app. There's that button, search for shift opportunities. So maybe I would love to earn some extra money. I'm going to press that button. The algorithm is looking at my skill set, and it said, hey, I found 2 opportunities that meet your profile. One is a bartender, one is a server. So I can apply to my manager from the app. My manager gets a push notification and can action that request. I've also been invited to an opportunity. So I'm always going to have access to these opportunities from the mobile app. Bottom menu, I also have access to the messages that we talked about before. So if I tap on the messages, I can start to see all of those entries. I can see the pictures. I can zoom into the pictures. I can pinch to even get a closer view of everything that my manager is posting. And then lastly, if I go to the More menu, I have access to everything. My availability, I can request time off. I can view all my shift opportunities. So you don't have to be on a computer to access all the information within OpenSimSim. Once the schedules are published, everything is available through the mobile app. So in closing, if you ever have any support issues or questions, bottom right-hand side of every single screen, you're going to see a chat icon. This will give you access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to our support center. And you can also send any support request through to support@opensimsim.com. Thank you for your time.